Well, welcome to day 2 of Northcutt Cut. Today, we're going to get started on some of the carving. And we're going to show you exactly how we do that when we come right back. All right, welcome back. We're going to go ahead and get the router set up and get the bit put in, get the depth set and everything. But before I do it, the router is always unplugged before I start messing with the power end of the routers. So safety first. So now I'm going to reach into my little bag of tricks here. This is my assorted bits. They're all in protective cases. And what I'm going to start first with is the Steve and Janet. And I'm going to cut around the outside of them. And that's going to leave the black. And it's going to be called what we call an outset letter. And what's going to happen is I'm going to carve away the material between the letters and around the letters, leaving the black. And then I'll have what's called a cloud effect around it. It's going to make the letters kind of stand out a little bit. And I'm going to do the same thing up here on the Northcutts. And it's going to really be a nice effect. So to do that, I'm going to start out with a profile bit, is what we call it. This is one right here. And let me bring it up there for you. The profile bit is what we carvers like to use for this type of work right here. It's a 45-degree bit. From this tip right here to the point, it's 45 degrees. It's a 17 degrees taper from here to here, and it's a 1/4 inch diameter shank. So I'm going to get that set up, and when I come right back, we'll continue on with our carving. So hang on, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm running a little bit deep, plus I got my old bit in there. I need to sharpen this bit, so I'm going to change bits. So hang on, I'll be right back. All right, we're going to plug back in. I've changed the bits. And I've actually changed the depth of cut as well. I went down to a 1/16 of an inch instead of an 1/8 inch on the first pass, so it should be a little bit easier on the bits. So let's try this setup. Here we go. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and finish carving the rest of these offline. And when I come back, all this will have been done and all this will have been done on the first pass. And then I'll come back with a second pass and I'll show you how I do it on the second pass. And we get a little bit wider area around it. And then I should be down deep enough then that we'll do the cloud effect around it. And you'll see how we're going to do that. So hang on, we'll be right back. All right, I almost forgot to turn the camera back on to pick up with cutting the second depth. So what I've gone doing is gone back to the 1/8 inch depth. I started cutting it, doing I realized I didn't have the camera on. But I'm going back to the 1/8 inch depth, and I'm going to make a clearance cut around the outside of everything, and then we'll continue on from there. So here we go. All right, I have changed bits. I'm going to switch over to what I called a carving liner. And as you can see, it's a very fine pointed bit. And I'm going to use that to carve around the word "the." And that bit allows me to get in with a lot more fine detail. So let me get the base put back on here, and we will get to work with this. And because it is such a fine tipped bit, I can't take a real deep depth of cut because I take a chance of breaking the bit off on the tip. So we do it little bit by little bit. So when you're using with this one, you have to take more passes. Now, I did have my router plugged in when I took the base off, but I had it unplugged when I actually put the bit in. So I am trying to work safe, y'all. Here we go. All right, and that is about as deep as I care to go with that little bit. I could probably go a little bit more, but I just don't want to take a chance on running a $35 bit. Trying to go just a little bit deeper. Anyway, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw I'll get a pencil and I'll draw the shape of the cloud around the letters. And then we'll come back and we'll cut that cloud. So hang on, I'll be right back. Okay, off camera, I have gone ahead and installed a 90-degree V-point bit, and I'll plug back in when we get ready to run. But what I want to do right now is I want to use a pencil and I'm just kind of draw the shape of the cloud that I want to see around the lettering. And it's real simple. I mean, it's just you're just going to kind of bump into each letter, and it's not a big one. We'll take a little bit there, and all it is, we just did a little cleanup spot. And there's nothing magical about it, because if you'll stop and remember, clouds are not perfectly shaped. They're all kind of different, and they're all unique. So we'll bring this one a little bit deeper, and we'll just kind of bring it around. And I'm going to keep this one separate. I'll make its own little cloud around it. And that's it. I mean, that's all there is to doing a cloud around it. On this one, we're going to make it a little different. And we're going to actually do this one, probably a little bit bigger there. We're going to do this one with an entirely different bit. This is a 1/4 inch 90-degree V groove. And when I do the word "the," I'm going to do it with a 1/4 inch 60-degree. The 60-degree cuts at an angle about like this, and the 90 cuts at a wider angle. So on the smaller letters, I want to do it a little bit tighter angle, and that's the reason why I'm keeping it separate away from the Northcutts. And then Steve and Janet, it's going to be different. So, all right, so when I make that cut, the cloud, then I'm going to come back with the bit. I'll back the bit off just a little bit, not quite as deep, and then I'll come in and I'll clear out all this lettering inside around it. And it's going to look neat when we get through with it. So hang on, I'll be right back and we'll get cranked up. Okay, we're going to plug in and going to get ready to do the cloud effect around it. So here we go. Turn around so y'all can see it. And let's turn the lights on. Maybe the batteries will last long enough. All right, so now I'm going to back off on the bit just a little bit, and we'll cut the cloud just a little bit shallower than we did the actual, excuse me, the actual edging of the cloud. So Let me back off on that just a little bit. All right, so here we go. Now we're going to start removing all this in between. So here we go. And let me stand it up, see if I can get y'all a good view of it. I may have that thing zoomed in too far, I do. Anyway, let's get a little bit better there. And this gives you kind of an idea of what it's going to look like with the, let me back it up a little bit. There we go. It's hard to do all this when you're working by yourself. Anyway, this gives you the texture cloud effect around their names and stuff. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to do some more cleanup around the lettering and everything, and I'll get it all fixed up. And then, like I said, I'll do that with a 60-degree bit. It'll be exactly the same as this, but it's just going to be on a smaller scale. And so this is running a little bit long. So what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and wrap up video number 2. And I'm going to continue on working today, and I'll finish up that over there. And so I'll actually start video number 3 today as well. But like I said, this video is getting a little bit long, so I don't want to go too much longer with it. But anyway, we're making a lot of progress, so I want to thank everyone. If you hit that like button, the subscribe button, and ring that bell so you get notified each time I post a video. Share my videos and my channel with your family and friends. I'd greatly appreciate that very much. And lastly, leave me questions and comments. I'll answer every one of them, because you taking the time to watch the videos and then leave me questions and comments means the world to me. I can't give you back the time that you spent to watch my videos, so the least I can do is honor you by answering your questions and comments. So thank y'all very much, and I'll see you real soon in video number 3 of Northcutt Cut. Thanks.